You're listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which provides bite-sized tips for busy parents, educators, and anyone working with kids. These real talk conversations focus on mindful living, mental health, and personal growth, helping all to learn, grow, and inspire with mindfulness in mind. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, educator, licensed professional counselor, entrepreneur, and mom. I'm passionate about helping folks live life with peace of mind and ease of heart while not losing their, well, you know, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 118 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So Thanksgiving has passed, and if you're listening to this in real time, we are in full holiday swing. And this year, 2022 in particular, the day after Thanksgiving was November 25th, meaning that there is exactly 1 month between November 25th and Christmas, if that is indeed the holiday that you celebrate. And if it is, it seems like there is so much to fit in within the course of just 4 weeks. And sometimes it seems like we really do try to fit in all of the gratitude and all of the joy between Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it is at this time specifically that we feel the need to decorate all of the things, right? Whether it be the inside of our homes, outside of our homes, stairwells and offices and workplaces. It seems that we want to just sparkle, glitter, and joy and confetti everywhere. And in addition to that, then we also feel the pressure of buying gifts and finding the perfect gift or the right gift for significant others, family members, maybe even colleagues. And then in addition to that, as parents, we may feel the need, or maybe it's not the need, but more so your own kind of selfish desire to fit in again all of the activities, to go on the Polar Express, to see all of the light show, to visit Santa, to do all of the things, whether it's Hallmark Christmas related or any other type of holiday or just a personal wish of your own. But again, we're trying to fit in so much within this short amount of time. And then on top of all that, as if we could not fit anymore, then we all want to be bakers and cooks and try out new recipes and do all of these additional things that, my friends, even from thinking about it, I get stressed out. There's just so much that we sometimes add on to our plates that really we don't have the need to do. Now, there's that difference there. Is there a need or is there a desire, right? If we have young children, is there a need to perhaps purchase gifts and make their day or make their season? Maybe that's a little bit more of a need. But then really ask yourself, well, do you have to buy 20 gifts for someone? Or can you fulfill that need with just 1 or 2 gifts? And that is really questioning your desire instead of the need. And it's a lot, one, to even think about those two things, right? The difference between the need and the desire, and where are you going to meet perhaps yourself in the middle, maybe your child in the middle, perhaps meeting a family member in the middle, or maybe it's your pocketbook or wallet in the middle as well, because we may want to do all of the things, but it's really important that during this time when we want to be more joyful and we want to be more mindful and really be present, it seems like during this holiday space, we actually are less mindful and less present because we put all of this maybe unnecessary pressure on our plates and on our shoulders that maybe we don't really need to do all of these things. But instead, if we could block out all of the noise and really center in on what is most important to us, That means to us, without that outside noise, without all of the commercials, without the pressure from family members, but truly what is most important and what do we want to achieve in this holiday season? If we look at the season through that lens and with that perspective, I wonder if then at that point we would feel less holiday pressure and less holiday overwhelm, because then we wouldn't be meeting someone else's expectations. We would just be meeting our own. And sometimes making that differentiation of what is it that we feel we need to do in terms of societal pressures versus what is it that we want to do, sometimes that is even hard to decipher because we lose ourselves in the whirlwinds of the hallmark aspect of it all. Because it can be a challenge to really center ourselves and ask ourselves, what is it that we want to accomplish with the holiday season? And I realize that that may sound a little bit odd. What is it that we want to accomplish this holiday season? Because it's almost as if these things are already pre-listed for us and we just need to check off all the boxes. But my friends, I want to remind you that that doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to bake the cookies just because you did last year. You don't have to host just because you did last year. You don't have to get your child 20 million gifts just because maybe your parents did that for you, or maybe your friends are doing that for their kids. You don't really have to do anything but follow what's in your heart. And again, all of this outside noise makes that sometimes really hard to center, to focus in on, and to make a decision for ourselves without all of these outside influences. So, thinking about the different aspects that the holidays bring, let's go with the most obvious in gift giving. What is it that you have to do? Or what is it that you want to do? Most likely, you want to get your child a gift. And most likely, you want to get perhaps a partner, significant other, maybe your parents, maybe your siblings. But then really ask yourself, do you have to get all of those cousins or aunts and uncles? I know it's hard. I come from a really big family myself, but maybe instead, can you do a grab bag? Or instead of focusing on every single person, can you just focus on the kids? Thinking about these questions is really how you start to focus in on what is it that you want to do, as opposed to what is it that you feel you need to do in order to fulfill these expectations that come from other people or maybe come from no one. And you just feel that they're out there, but nobody is really holding you to it. Then moving on to the next aspect of presentation, whether that be presentation of the holidays in your home, or maybe presentation of holidays in your office space where you work, or maybe you feel the pressure of presentation of yourself within the holiday season. Think about what is it that you want to do. Again, is it enough for you to just put up the tree? Maybe that can be enough. And it doesn't have to be a big tree. It could be a small Charlie Brown tree. It doesn't have to be going out of the way and getting a real tree if you don't have the time or space for that. It can be something on a smaller scale because no one is holding you to this expectation, but whatever it is or whoever it is that you allow to give that space to. You don't necessarily have to deck the halls on the outside of your home if that's something that you don't wish to do or something that you don't have the energy for. Because who is it that you're doing this for? Is it for your kids? Probably. Is it for yourself? Or is it for your block? And if it is that really important? Is that where you want to pour all your energy out when there are things or people that are more important? And finally, there's the aspect of time, the non renewable resource that once it's gone, you can't get back. And thinking about the holidays, where is it that you want to spend your time? And what is it that you want to spend your time doing? And these are very important questions to take some mindful moments and just reflect on really what is it that you want to do and understand that you have options. And yes, family can hold a big cloud over our shoulders sometimes of the things that they expect you to do. But when it comes down to it, you must protect your energy and you must protect your mental space. So if it's something that you can only spend so much time at a certain person's home, or if you don't want to go somewhere to spend time there at all, again, remember that you have these choices because when you think of your whole entire lifespan, we only get so many holiday seasons. We only get so many Christmases. And when you are old and gray and we reflect back on these times, I want you to think about where is it that you want your time to be spent? Where is it that you want your energy to be spent? And what is it at the end of the day or at the end of your life? What is it that's most important? Is it that bazillion-dollar dollhouse for your kid, or is it time spent on an experience? And only you know the answers that are best for you because all of our situations are different. So hopefully during this holiday season, you can take out these moments to think about what is it that's most important to you. And with that all being said, yes, we are doing a lot for our kids, but we want to make sure that we are still the best versions of ourselves that we can be in order to be there for our kids. The National Alliance of Mental Illness has done studies that show 64% of people report that the holidays make whatever condition it is that they're struggling with, the holidays make it worse. And we want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves before thinking about all of these other things, all of the gifts, all of the energy, how we're showing up and where we're putting our time. Because if we are not the best versions of ourselves, then we are not doing anybody any good. And can that be perceived as being selfish? Perhaps. But just as they say on airplanes, you must take care of yourself first. You must put the mask over yourself first before helping out your neighbor. So, there are a couple of things to consider in order for you to protect your mental health, your energy, and show up as the best version of you. So first and foremost, really think about what is it that you need. Again, like the questions we were asking before, what is the difference between what's expected of you to do and what you really desire to do? And even then, what you really need to do. So think about what makes you feel good. Think about what makes you feel frustrated or agitated and act accordingly. As we've been talking about in the past couple of episodes, always keep a heart full of gratitude. When we know that there's so much in life to be grateful for, when we're really specific about what those things are, that not only improves our mental health, but that can also help us keep things in perspective, especially during the holidays. Again, protect your time. Don't try to take on too much. Prioritize the things that need to be done, the things that you absolutely need to and want to do. And the rest can perhaps be left to someone else or maybe even next year. Be realistic with what you can do. Sometimes we want to do the most, but if that's not going to be good for us, we need to trim that down and do small things with our best face forward as opposed to many things and not feeling good about ourselves. We must practice relaxation during this time. And I know what you may be thinking. When am I going to practice relaxation? And when am I even going to fit in exercise? Which is another tip as well. But we must find small chunks of space, whether it be 5 minutes or 15 minutes, going on a brisk walk, or just taking a couple of moments to take a few deep breaths. When we create space to do these things daily, then the big things don't appear as overwhelming because we're taking care of our minds and of our bodies and hopefully our souls too. So prioritize yourself. Prioritize self care. Prioritize the things that you need to do for you, whether that is getting a manicure or pedicure for the holidays, or whether that is sleeping in on a Saturday instead of going early to shop or something along those lines. And speaking of sleep, make sure that you're getting enough sleep because, again, that's going to help you show up as your best self. And when we have more holiday parties and more holiday gatherings to go to, really be mindful of what you're putting in your body. Not only the food that you're consuming, but also the beverages that you're consuming and any other recreational things. You know how your body feels the next day when you eat too much, drink too much, or anything else too much. And above all, make sure that you seek support, whether that is going to a licensed therapist or whether that is reaching out to friends or family members who get it. Make sure that that support system is there in place so that when you are up to your max of whatever it is that you feel you're able to handle, you know who you can contact. And by the way, if you feel like your friends and family just don't get it, or if you're a mom and you're looking for a space where there is no judgment, where you can connect with other moms, I invite you to the Amiga Moms Mindful Meetup, which is happening this upcoming Monday on December 5th from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a virtual space where you get to show up as yourself. There's space to connect with other moms, to speak with a licensed therapist, which would be me, and not for therapy, but just to kind of unload any of the stress that you're going through now. And to end the session with a guided meditation so that your cup can be refilled for the month before facing all of the month of December has in store for you. So if you're interested in finding out more information, I invite you to check out my website, freetobemindful.com/Amiga Moms. As we take on the month of December, I hope that you're fully able to experience joy, not only physically, but in your heart as well. I now invite you to stick around for this short guided meditation. So right now, regardless of where you are or what you're doing, just think about what is it that you truly desire for this month. Maybe it's a physical object. Maybe it's something to write Santa about. But maybe it's something deeper. Maybe you desire to fully experience joy or love. Maybe it's calmness and relaxation. Or maybe you long to experience true connection with someone. As the saying goes, it is better to give than to receive. And I truly believe that in order to receive that which we really do desire, it may start off with creating this space in order to not only give that, but also to receive. If our minds are filled with clutter and with all the things that we need to do, then it's really hard to find peace and relaxation. If our closets are filled with old clothes that we no longer wear, then it's really hard to know what it is that we expect or that we're looking for in terms of clothes. If our kids' toy baskets are filled with toys that go unused and untouched, then it's really hard to figure out what is it that they really are going to play with. So as you take these few moments for yourself, think about 3 things that you can do this week to declutter. Not only physically, but to declutter mentally, maybe to declutter emotionally. What must you let go of in order to create space to welcome the joys that the holiday season can bring? Have a great week. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. It would mean a ton if you took this moment to review the Free to Be Mindful podcast on the platform you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act lets me know what you enjoy, and it helps others find the podcast too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. In the meantime, I welcome you to catch me on social media at Counselor V de Jesus. And as always, remember, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.